What you need?
Did you get a copy?
Yeah.
Hard copy?
Yeah. It's under your computer.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Effingham County Board of Commissioners regular meeting agenda. Today's August 4th, 2026. The time is now 5:01 p.m. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Floyd.
Here.
Commissioner Burdette.
Here.
Chairman Ron.
Here.
Commissioner Deloach.
Here.
Commissioner Helmley.
Here.
And Commissioner Kiefer.
Here.
You have a full board, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Do you want to introduce our invocation?
Yes, sir. I will gladly do so. Tonight we have with us Pastor Nick Pumphrey. He's dual road. He is the pastor of the Clio Methodist Church in Clio, Georgia, and he is also our lead chaplain with our sheriff's office. Help me welcome Pastor Pumphrey.
Thank you for this privilege to pray and to open this meeting today. Let's pray. Dear Lord, thank you for your love and thank you for your life. Thank you for all that you've given us, Lord. We're praying your word back to you tonight. We're praying your word back to you from the book of James. Lord, I pray that you would lead us in this way. So then, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. For the wrath of man does not produce the righteousness of God. Lord, we know we can only live in this way with you and through your Holy Spirit. You are the only truth that will ever matter. Lord, you know the hearts of all of us here today. We need your guidance more than anything else. Lord, allow us the strength and ability to look to you tonight and in all the days to come. Lord, I lift up to you our county commissioners and every public servant gathered here today. Lord, I pray that you will give each of them the discerning hearts that are focused on you. I pray they will make decisions that will bring glory and honor to your name. Lord, I pray you will protect their hearts and lead them in service to you first, then the people they have been elected to serve. Lord, I am praying for every citizen here tonight and those who are deeply concerned today. I know we may not all agree on the issues before us today, but I pray that we will be reminded that you are the great unifier. You are the only place where we can ever truly be unified. So, Lord, keep your spirit amongst us, lifting our eyes to you and our direction in your way. Lord, I pray that you will remove any spirit of anger and replace it with a discerning heart. Lord, I truly pray that all the parties here tonight will be quick to listen, slow to speak, and even slower to anger. May you fill our hearts and mouths with grace, leading us to common ground rather than moving us further apart. Lord, again, I pray your blessing over this meeting and everyone here. Lord, come and lead us closer to you. We ask this in the holy, mighty, and powerful name of Jesus Christ our King. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you, Nick. Very good. We'll now move into our agenda approval. Consideration of a resolution to approve the agenda. Madam Clerk, any changes tonight?
No changes I've been made aware of, sir.
Very good. Thank you, ma'am. With that, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Motion carries. Moving into our minutes. Item 1, consideration to approve the July 21st, 2026 regular session commission meeting minutes.
Make a motion we approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Motion carries. Item 2, consideration to approve the July 28th, 2026 emergency special called meeting minutes.
I won't be voting on this. I wasn't at that meeting.
Very good.
I'll make a motion they approved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Motion carries. Noting Commissioner Floyd's abstaining. Public comments. Comments shall pertain to agenda items only. Should you wish to make remarks, clearly state your full name into the microphone before commencing to speak. Correspondence. The agenda packet for this meeting is posted on the county's website. Any additional documentation presented at the meeting shall be submitted to the clerk for receipt, recording, and distribution to the board. Item 9 is our consent agenda. This section shall include all routine items for which there will be no discussion. Should a need arise for debate, the item can be moved to the appropriate area of the agenda. Item 1 in consent. Consideration to approve the Georgia Department of Transportation Local Administered Project Certification documents required for Effingham County's application to become a GDOT Certified Local Administrator Project Agency. Item 2, consideration to ratify and affirm the utility easement granted to Georgia Power Company for electrical service improvements at the Effingham County Animal Shelter. Item 3, consideration to approve the Georgia Power Lighting Services Agreement for roadway lighting improvements at the SR 30 Colic-Helmy Roundabout. Item 4, consideration to ratify and affirm a personnel agreement for fiscal year 2027 for the University of Georgia Extension Office. Item 5, consideration to approve Resolution 026-022, appointing John Blewett to fulfill an unexpired term on the Board of Assessors.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Very good. Let's move into our Are we keeping, Stephanie, I'm just going to be clear on this, in this unfinished business section, in 10, are we doing that during planning?
We'll do those at 6 o'clock, yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll just move into new business, very good. All right. New business item number 1, consideration to approve resolution 026-020, recognizing the Mighty Majestic's 30th singing anniversary.
Yes, Mr. Chairman and board members, you stated it. We received a request from Mrs. Vivian Holmes for the Board of Commissioners to acknowledge the group's anniversary. The Mighty Majestics is a singing group that was organized in 1996 by Michael Duncan Sr., Jake Williams, and Charles Brabham Jr. The group is celebrating, as stated, their 30th singing anniversary. We do have a resolution which I will not read in its entirety. Now therefore be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Effingham County, Georgia joins the family and friends of the Mighty Majestics in celebrating their 30 years and counting in musical ministry. Staff recommends approval of the resolution.
Thank you, ma'am. With that, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries.
And I believe that some of the members are here, are
I was gonna
present
say,
for a photo op. Those members of the Mighty Majestics and family, if you will come forward, please.
They gonna sing for us?
Hold on.
They want to know if you're going to sing. You're gonna sing?
I was about to tell them to cue the music, so. Very good. I want to go down to there.
Go down?
Yeah, let's go down.
What?
All right, so when that comes up, I will mention that we would like to table this because we are, after speaking with the county attorney today, there were 2 items. Yep.
Here we go. I still need you to tighten up a little bit. There we go. All right, everybody look this way. Big smile. Here we go. One more time. Gotcha, thank you. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. All right. Item 2, second reading. Consideration to approve the second reading of an amendment to Part 2, Appendix C, zoning ordinance, Article 4, Establishment of Districts, Section 4.1A, Permitted Use Table of the Effingham County Code of Ordinances.
Yes, Pamela Melser, Director of Development Services. I just wanted to bring to the board's attention 2 changes for the second reading. We added in permitted uses for R3 under single-family fee simple as well as single-family detached. That's to align with the R3 ordinance that's already in effect. And then additionally, we did a revision of the title under parts, accessories, and tires. It's now listed as automobile maintenance, parts, accessories, or tires.
So those are changes from the original, from the first.
That's the only 2 changes from
Alright.
the original one.
All right, very good. Any questions, guys?
For me.
Explain the alignment of uses between I-1 and HI.
Yes, staff reviewed the HI district, which is the new heavy industrial district, which is replacing the I-1 district. And we found that there were some mismatches where the permitted uses in I-1 or HI were not aligned.
Okay.
And that's what that correction is
And
for.
I believe, wasn't too long ago, we made them one and the same, correct? Okay.
Correct.
All right.
And I-1 is no longer a zoning that can be Zone 2.
Right.
If going forward, if anyone wanted
But
to do
since we have existing, we have to have that.
have it included, yes, sir.
Gotcha, okay.
And we technically voted on that this past December.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yep,
Yeah.
second reading
And-
was December 16th on that.
right.
Okay.
And just for the, the public's knowledge on this, I believe we have the 2025, the December. And if you look at the table here, you will see that they're just going to mirror each other from what we're doing today. So there's really no changes here from what was approved. What was it?
Correct,
December
specifically for that.
6th or 15th?
16th, December 16th was
Okay.
second reading, yes, sir.
Gotcha. All right. I know there was a little confusion about that. And basically, we're just, we have existing zoning that is that already. And we had to make them align 'cause without them having to come in and actually change their
Exactly.
actual zoning. So, very good. All right. Any discussion?
I will say that I believe that was a steering committee that formulated in December before we approved.
Yes.
So it wasn't staff that come up with it, but it was a steering committee that came up with everything and which we approved.
And they put a lot of time in that.
They did a lot of hard work.
Yeah. How many meetings do we have, Pam, on that steering committee? Do you know?
Maybe about
10? Okay. And that was a diverse crowd too, right? I mean, it was a mix of folks. All right, very good. Any further discussion? If not, entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a public comment.
We're not doing second reading. There's not any public comments on this.
Make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Unopposed, motion carries. Item 3, ordinance, first reading. Consideration to approve the first reading to amend Article 3, Section 3.4, buffers of the Code
Mr.
of
Chairman?
Ordinances of it. Yes.
After discussion with the county attorney today, items 3 and 4, he wants to discuss, one, on item 3, he wants to discuss further with staff on some of the wording in the ordinance. And item 4, we just want to make sure that we get the Rinkin version of it back before we move forward.
Okay, so we need to table these items?
We need to table both of those to the next meeting.
Okay, all right, very good, thank you.
I'll make a motion to,
We need to do them individually? Okay,
I'll make a motion to table item 3 until our next meeting.
which is
September 1st,
September 1st?
yes.
Okay,
So skipping a meeting,
so 2 meetings?
2 meetings.
Oh, I'm sorry.
18th.
My mistake, you're right.
8:18.
8:18.
8:18.
8:18, got it. All right, Jamie, go ahead, sorry.
All right, I'll make a motion to move item number 3 to August 18th.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Item 4 is up for tabling as well. Consideration of approve an intergovernmental agreement between Effingham County and City of Rincon establishing responsibilities for design, right-of-way acquisition, utility coordination, construction, cost sharing, and long-term maintenance of the SERN East-West Road project.
I'll make a motion to table item number 4 to our August 18th meeting.
Second.
Good. Have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. All right. Item 5, consideration to approve a quote for Effingham County's cost participation in the construction of the county-funded portion of the connection roadway improvements, Park Drive.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Jonathan could not be here tonight, so I will just give you a brief explanation of this. If you recall, we are trying to keep all truck traffic off of Hodgeville Road. And currently we have one major industry that uses it. And so we've worked with the property owners, 2 property owners, to essentially create a county connecting road called Park Drive, which will essentially also get the concrete truck traffic as well as the concrete pipe manufacturer traffic off of Hodgeville and directly onto Effingham Parkway. We have a firehouse right there, so it'll also provide, while we'll be closing off that driveway entrance to Hodgeville Road, it will be available for fire personnel to directly get onto Effingham Parkway if the need should arise that they need a bypass.
Do we have a drawing of that by chance anywhere?
Let's see. Give me one.
There's a skeleton drawing online, I believe, of
Do
the
we
outline
have
of
the
it.
Item number?
In fact, I think even Google Maps shows the clearing of it. It's something we've been working on for years.
Yeah.
Google Maps shows
If you
where
give me
it's
1 second, I can.
Okay.
We actually have it platted, so.
Yeah, I remember seeing, maybe it's on GIS.
And just so everybody understands it.
It's estimated we'll get about 70 trucks a day off Hodgeville by doing this. It's pretty large.
I'm having a little trouble with internet access. I can't. My internet access is not, okay, is not working.
Okay.
Mariah?
And it could be as simple as pulling up Google Maps and just kind of.
I'm trying to, I can't even get internet access.
Gotcha.
Google Maps. I'll pull it up.
I think the internet access down.
You have the address.
All right. Okay, just came back up.
Sorry.
1
trying
second,
to
here
show
we are.
everybody what-
Got it.
Sorry.
They're on our pace.
Theft virus.
They're on our pace.
To unlock the computer, please call support immediately.
Uh-oh.
All right, on the screen, here we are. So, if you can see, this is the concrete plant. This is the firehouse.
And Belmont Glen's to the
And
south.
this is
there.
Hodgeville
Okay.
Road.
Yeah.
This is New Haven, and this is Belmont Glen.
Mhm.
And so this driveway, with the exception of the firehouse and maybe as an emergency secondary exit for this This is the concrete pipe plant. This is Diamond Concrete. This is SRM Concrete Plant. So they, right now, are going out to Hodgeville Road and using that as their access point.
Right.
They will be using this new road called Park Drive, which we partnered with this developer
Okay,
to develop to get them out directly onto Effingham Parkway, which is in fact a truck route.
gotcha. Cool, thank you.
You
Sorry
got it.
for that. Hope you get your computer fixed. All right. No further discussion. I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve alternative one.
Second.
Have a motion, have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. All right, let's see here. That was on, okay, item 6. Consideration to approve change order number 4 with McClendon Enterprises for additional work associated with the T-Splosh 2025 Maintenance Resurfacing Program, including raised pavement markings, shoulder improvements, additional shoulder material, and a contract time extension.
Good evening, Lauren Schumann, Engineering Project Coordinator. This item is a request to approve change order 4 with McClendon for the 2025 T-Splosh Maintenance Resurfacing Program, and it is for raised pavement markers on Nelly Road and Benjamin Gannan Road, shoulder improvements along Ansel Lane, additional shoulder material for Corinth Church Road, and a 60-day contract time extension. And one of the larger cost items in this change order is the additional dirt that was needed to complete the project. All of the suitable material that was available was utilized, and so the contractor had to obtain dirt from a borrow pit. And so this accounts for the majority of the cost. Engineering has reviewed this and recommends alternative 1.
Very good, thank you.
I can speak for Benjamin Gannan and Nelly Road, because I do ride those roads a pretty good bit, and they were definitely in need of help, and I'm not surprised they needed extra dirt and extra shoulder work, because those are those old ash roads, and the sides of them had just washed out. So.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of McClendon trucks going up Old Dixie Highway this morning, headed to Corinth Church. So I'm glad we got that taken care of. And Tim, Jonathan's going to be giving us some recommendations on this next round of road lists, correct?
Yeah, so at the next workshop,
I think soon,
yeah,
workshop. Okay.
he's going to, the LMIG, which we got the letter for the LMIG 2027. We just got the approval from GDOT in July. And so he's been working on a roads list to come out for recommendations, and we're just going to go over it on the workshop, which I believe is at the beginning of the next meeting, if I have that right. But that's when we'll discuss it.
Okay.
And we're getting towards the end of the paving season anyway, so there's highly unlikely we'd be able to get some work done before the end of the year. But if it stays warm, we will be.
Okay.
The RPMs are a nice touch on Nelly Road too, the rate
Yeah.
markers.
I think we've become very used to those.
But they're helpful.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, if there's no questions or concerns, I'll make a motion to approve the change order.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Unopposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 7, consideration to approve a final plat and warranty deed for Westgate subdivision, Phase 1A, located at the intersection of Earl Lane Road and Hodgeville Road, consisting of 100 lots, map number 435, parcel number 21, 21B, and map number 436, parcel number 3 in the 2nd District.
Yes, Pamela Melser, Director of Development Services. This is for HIC Westgate requesting the approval of a final plat warranty deed for Westgate subdivision, Phase 1A for 100 lots. The subdivision is located at the intersection of Earl Lane and Hodgeville Road. The subdivision has Effingham County water and sewer utilities as well as a pump station. The subdivision roads are being dedicated to the county. The zoning is PD and monuments have been installed in the ground accordingly.
We've inspected, there's no punch list items or anything?
They completed all items.
Okay, very Very good.
I know we had some conditions on this one too, of a fence going on the backside of it.
That one, I'm trying to picture that. No, are you thinking of Baker Hill possibly?
No, this was,
This one?
when this came up for rezoning, one of the conditions where we put a fence along the backside.
Yeah, I
where
think it's
the
gonna back up to the.
That might have been
neighborhood
phase
lots.
two.
Is that phase two?
Yeah, and so that was under the, if you,
Sorry, I didn't understand.
kind of
what
on
you're
the other
talking
side
about.
of the street.
They're the ones that along Colacombe there?
Yes.
Yeah, the
Yes.
neighborhood.
But this is different
South
phase.
Effingham,
Yeah, so-
it is back to-
Yeah, and these are all on the south side with the
Oh, these are all
exception,
south side.
with the exception of the pump station is on the other side of the road.
I think we had a lot of room on the other side of it, so.
Yeah.
okay.
Very good. Any further discussion? If not, entertain a motion.
I make a motion, we approve the final plat.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Unopposed, motion carries.
Clarification, final plat and deed.
And deed.
Okay.
Good. Moving to item 8, consideration to approve a final plat and warranty deed for New Haven subdivision Phase 3, located at the intersection of Bellevue Boulevard and Hodgeville Road, consisting of 50 lots, map number 416, parcel number 20F in the 2nd District.
Yes, as Chairman mentioned, this is for 50 lots. The subdivision is located at Bellevue and Hodgeville. Effingham County Water and Sewer Utilities. Subdivision roads are being dedicated to the county PD zoning district, and monuments have also been installed in the ground accordingly. I am also aware that Jonathan has been out to the site several times to inspect and make sure that everything is up to snuff for engineering.
Thank you, ma'am. Roger, this year, you have anything to add?
Mayor, Coach, you just add a comment to that?
Sure, come on up.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Christopher Kabinski. I am one of the board of directors for the Belmont Glen neighborhood and subdivision that includes the New Haven development. I did email you guys this morning bringing back the presentation that Charles Bowen, our attorney, had sent to you guys, that we had some concerns based upon phase 1 and phase 2. Thank you last week for getting the warranty deed corrected, and, you know, praise again to Jonathan for, like she had said, doing some extensive work, extensive check to get, you know, those issues remedied. We just wanted to make sure that we had on record, you know, some of the things that we had seen in the past won't happen again. Jonathan called me around lunchtime today, and we had a great chat because he could not be here today, addressing some of the concerns. The one that was brought to me about 20 minutes ago, just driving up here, relates to the new pond that is going back. And just so everybody's aware, Jonathan had gone out, worked with Ernest to drain down the pond and make some modifications to address some of the failing slope. And in his email that he sent about 12:54 today, he did address that it was a 3-to-1 slope. However, I did get a call that did have some concern, that we have some concerns where we may not be able to maintain that area just because of the grade. We've seen this on our front pond that is south of Bellevue, where it's too great of a slope where our landscapers cannot get there or cannot get access to it to traditionally mow it. And just a one-time service fee through Pope's, after soliciting multiple bids, was a couple grand. And that was for one time to come out, because the only way that they can do it is by weed whipper. And the slope that is on, you know, for the pond for phase 3 appears to have increased. Now, Jonathan did say that he had gone out with, I'm guessing, some type of official measurement question, and I have no reason to doubt that whatsoever. I know he's a good, honest guy, and I trust his word. I just want to make it noted, once we get past that warranty deed, and based upon that letter that Charles had sent to the county, some of the conditions, we just want to be present before we sign off and take ownership of it, so we don't get stuck, you know, with that bill again, or something that we have to come out of pocket on. So that's primarily why I wanted to come. Also, the drainage issues that we had seen in the past, primarily phase 1 and phase 2. There's some in phase 1 that are still being worked out with Jonathan in EOM. Part of it, we had a little bit of concern with the swale once those lots do get, built out and we don't have these type of drainage issues again, from what he had indicated, Jonathan, that they're looking to increase the deadfall going into the main pond back there to rectify that so we don't run into it. We just want to put it on the record, hey, we want to be able to inspect it, because the last time around, Ernest and CJ had put the invite out to the county, but left us absent. And in Jonathan's own word, where's somebody from the board? And this has just been the same thing that we have been dealing round and round with Ernest. The last thing that he had mentioned, there was still some issues with the pond where they had, some erosion between certain lots that had not been taken care of yet. And I believe Jonathan was recommending not to issue the CO, quite yet. Have you guys seen that email back from him at about 12:54 this afternoon?
Yeah,
Just said actually earlier. On
yeah,
the-
and
for
I
the
can
path.
respond to that. We did see the email, and I did talk to Jonathan about, I think there was actually a second issue where they had requested continuation of a bike trail around a pond that wasn't complete yet. And so since they are yet to build on this and they've committed to doing that, we can essentially hold up the CO of the first building until that's completed.
Okay.
And so we have no problem doing that for them. We think it's a pretty easy fix for them to take care of, but we have to, but we got to make sure they take care of it before they can actually sell a house.
Got it. Okay, that's what we just wanted to hear and make sure.
And I did talk to Jonathan, about just committing, and I will say that, normally we don't get the level of participation, which is actually good, that we're getting this level of participation from the neighborhood association with regards to the warranty inspections at the end of the year. So it would be our pleasure to have you there. And when we schedule them, I'll make sure Jonathan has a note to make sure you're all communicated with.
Perfect. Yeah, we don't really want to have to involve the county. We're
Yeah.
getting a little tired of having to have you guys intervene all the time, so that would be really appreciated, because I've
Well,
got to take
and
time
you
up
all
to
would take
come
a
up
better
with-
look at the ponds, because you're maintaining that, because you're taking ownership of those, and we'll take, obviously a very good look at the roads and the drainage system, because we're taking ownership of that. So I think it's good to have both parties there.
The last part that was asked for me to talk about that got brought up that I was not able to get in email before we came over is some sort of electrical meter for that pond. So the reason I'm saying that is we had to come out of our own pocket in order to put a meter in the Phase 1 pond in order to have a fountain. Now, in traditional Belmont Glen, the front two, as you come in, the larger ponds both have fountains on them to help with water circulation. We also stock, those ponds for fishing and recreational activities as well, and also to help with some of like the stagnant water in there, so it doesn't become stagnant. The first time around, we had asked Beth with Ernest if this was going to happen in New Haven. They said they didn't have the budget for it. This time around, since we had to come out of pocket on our own, we would like the board to at least have that acknowledged for either Phase 3 or Phase 4, because I believe Phase 4 is going to be on the backside of this pond, that there is some type of meter that we can attach up when we do put a pond in there. Must be storming out.
Yes, sir.
Not sure what that was.
We can request it.
That's-
Our only concern is whether or not it's a requirement in our code or not. And so, but we do have some, obviously, sway when we talk to the builder, the developer, to say, this is something that, we think their need there, to see if they'll voluntarily agree to it. And that commitment I can make. I can't make a commitment that they'll actually do it if it's not an actual requirement.
Right, that's all I'm asking.
Okay.
And that's a great point for us to think about too. in these
Maybe
developments as well.
ordinance-wise.
So, yeah,
I think it would be, because a lot of those smaller ponds, if you don't have that.
yeah, they can
like
get
you say,
stagnant really
yeah,
quick.
they're
so.
stagnant. If you're doing the work to
And it's something easy.
stock it and do that kind of stuff, it'd be a shame for just.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the HOA would take over the bill.
Yeah.
Bill,
But
but
still, yeah,
the
to
infrastructure could be
put it
done
in.
easier on the front end than trying to retrofit it on the back end, so.
Right, and we had to retrofit off of one of the board members who lives there to pay for that power connection in order to temp it. However, that's not a permanent solution. We're now working with Georgia Power to either have a line trenched off of one of the transformers or have them come off of Hodgeville, which is gonna be to the tune of at least $8,000 to $15,000 coming out of our budget just for a meter of our own.
That's a deal.
But I
I
will
know it's
reiterate what Tim said, it's not codified, so it's kind of limited on
Yeah, and we can make
being
the
able to require
suggestion.
it other than, and
That's something for us to
Encourage.
consider.
encourage.
Yeah,
But going
I think,
forward,
Pam,
yeah.
if you'll make a note that maybe we
Yeah,
need
especially
to
on a planned development, I don't,
look at that,
Huh?
especially on a planned development like this.
Agree.
I mean,
Yeah.
especially on
Yeah.
planned development.
Oh, I agree.
Maybe a certain size, you do it. you know.
Yeah, very good. Thank
So,
you.
Thank you, that's all I have. I appreciate the time.
Very good. Thanks,
you.
sir. All right. Anything further from the board?
Just a question, is this something now you're just gonna handle, like you say, with the COs? Or
Oh, yeah.
Or do we, so we don't need to hold this up?
No, you don't need to hold it up. You can move it forward. We'll make sure the
It'll
last
be
two
flagged with the
punch,
building department, I'm
yeah,
sure.
the
Okay.
last two punch items get done.
Just wanted to make sure.
Very good. Well, I'll entertain a motion.
With that, I'll, make a motion to approve alternative one, so approve the final plat and the warranty deed for New Haven subdivision phase 3.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Item 9, consideration to approve resolution 026-021 to set the 2026 sanitation fees.
Good afternoon, Mark Barnes, Finance Director. Each year, we have to set the sanitation fee. The contract with our sanitation services provider increases by 2.5% each year at a minimum to cover any inflationary rises they may have in their operating expenses. This year, the fee is set in this revised by 2.2% in accordance with the increase from Atlantic. Staff recommends alternative 1 to approve the sanitation fee.
Okay. So what was the old fee? What's the new fee?
It was $270 per year for the normal trash and recycling cart. Now it's $276.
Okay, so $6. Got it.
With the seniors getting the
The
discount.
discount.
Yeah.
What's
See-
the age for the senior? 65?
104, I think.
How much?
Sorry, what? The
Did
age?
he say what's the,
What's the age? 62?
oh, age of the
is-
senior? I'm
I thought you said 104.
I thought you said,
No, I was gonna-
I thought you said what's the rate? I'm sorry.
No.
So,
What's the age? What do we consider a senior?
65.
Okay, 65, so that would be 270,
It's
6
a
per year minus the 106, $170 discount.
discount. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Very good, thank you.
So anyone 65 or older that's here or
Yeah.
watching,
Yes.
if you haven't applied for that, you need to do it. You'll save you $270-some a year.
Well, save you 170 a year.
Yeah, and a reminder.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but
Yes.
still, that's,
Yes.
170 a year,
Instead of
yeah.
paying 276,
Yeah.
you'll pay 106, so
Yeah.
yes.
And
Thank you
also,
for correction.
also seniors, please check your homesteads as well.
Yeah.
Very good. All right, with that, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Item 10, consideration to approve resolution 026-021 to amend the schedule of fees.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we have a copy of these in our packets too.
Yes, there is one update, so I wanted to just hand that out to you, to
Sure.
put that in front of you. But this is also the same time of the year that we update our schedule of fees. And the annual update includes changes in several areas, including building permits and zoning, water and sewer, and this version also includes the removal of the fire fees as they're set to convert to a millage rate this year. The change to the water rates are the continuation of the water study that was conducted a couple of years ago by the firm Raff Tellis. We implemented it first at the beginning of fiscal year '25 and then fiscal year '26, and this is a continuation of that for fiscal year '27. The change in rates equates to less than $5 per month on a typical household that uses about 8,200 gallons a month. There was two last-minute addition to the schedules, and that's the ones that have the blue tape on the copies I just handed out. there was an addition of a fee for commercial and industrial accessory structures that before were not broken out from residential. And then there's one change to the recreation section for basketball teams. Staff recommends alternative 1 to approve the fee schedule.
So,
And the accessory structures for commercial was to reduce the rate for accessory structures as compared to the main commercial structure.
okay,
So it's actually technically a reduction because the accessory structures prior to this were subject to the full commercial rates.
This helps out our churches, correct?
Yeah, it helps out everybody, particularly, you know, when some of these commercial structures may simply be like a pole barn type building that don't have to go through the same rigorous level of inspection as a building with restroom facilities and fire suppression. So we felt it was there should be 2 layers of fee schedules for both structures.
very good. What was the change on the facilities, the rentals?
In the recreation section, it'll be highlighted in red, but it was the basketball team fee there.
Okay, I
Yeah.
gotcha.
Should be a blue tape right next to
I
it.
see.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very good, thank you.
I'll just add to help your question, it would mainly be, a lot of that does pertain to churches, but also pertains to any kind of 501c3 organization too, and that
Right.
type of thing. So,
Failure to report monthly hydrant meter readings.
Can we discuss these openly?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead, Rob.
For the animal control, the adoption fee, does anyone think that an adoption fee could be a barrier for somebody adopting a pet?
We do, I mean, it's a double-edged sword there. And so we do events throughout the year where we waive adoption fees, particularly when we have high occupancy at the animal shelter. But it does show some level of commitment and the kind of the seriousness of it, so that we do get a tremendous amount of folks who will adopt and return. And so we will never let a fee interfere with getting an animal to its new home. So we do have that flexibility within the ordinance on that. But these are just kind of your standards.
What about in lieu of, do we have anything in lieu of, like volunteer hours or anything like that for the shelter? Or?
I mean, we could look at that if need be. I don't know how much uptake we'd have on it, but but we try and keep those adoption figures pretty stable and low.
Very good.
I'd rather our reclamation fees be higher and the
Yeah,
adoption fees be lower.
that's a good point.
Yeah.
And to capture that same amount of money, that's an
Yeah.
issue operating.
We have to pick up the dog you adopted, yeah. Very good.
The other part was payment in lieu of sidewalks. Are we offering people not to put in sidewalks by doing this? or-
Nope, that's just for, if you remember on the commercial,
contiguous.
If it's not contiguous, you'd still,
correct, right. We have certain circumstances where they can pay into a sidewalk fund, and then we can use those to connect, let's say, existing sidewalk systems that may have a gap in it.
what's the criteria for them avoiding putting in the sidewalks?
What, maintenance is one, because they'd be responsible for the maintenance of it. And, you know, depending on, you know, we have what we think is a reasonable fee per linear foot for the sidewalk. In some cases, it may be even more expensive than that. But, you know, that, you know, cost could be a factor in this, in certain circumstances. And if it doesn't make sense to put a sidewalk there, you know, simply because it's a more rural location, it's a requirement on every commercial B2 and B3, I think, structure, that it makes sense to give them an alternative without them having to come to the board and ask for a variance.
But if somebody had a full development of 100 homes, they would
Yes.
have to do.
They would have to,
okay.
yes.
So make sure we're not letting them off the hook with that.
See, one more here. This reflects our industrial change too.
What'd you say?
This reflects the industrial change on the.
Yes.
Okay. Very good. If y'all have had enough time, if you've got enough time, if you need more time, we can. If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve the schedule of fees.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Mark. Item 11, consideration to approve and publish new job titles and job descriptions for park and landscape services.
Good evening,
You in
Chairman.
a hurry, Trey?
Yeah. Sarah Mousoff, Director of Human Resource Services. So tonight, we are asking for permission to approve these two new job titles and job descriptions. These were budgeted for the new year, and so it would really help Seth's Parks and Landscape Division. The park attendant would be 2 part-timers, and then the coordinator would be 1 full-time. And so their primary function is that afternoon, evening kind of hours, patrolling the parks, making sure there's no problems, no vandalism going on, because you guys know we've opened a few parks and then had couple issues. And so we're just trying to be a little more vigilant. You guys are investing in the community, and we just want to kind of keep them safe and have more of a presence. So this would help Seth's current team by adding these positions.
Very good. Thank you. Side question. How many vacancies do we have right now in the county? Just employment-wise, or where can people apply? Where do they need to apply?
Sure, they can go online, the county's website. We do have, most of the openings are only the new positions, but a lot of departments have made a lot of traction through July, and so we have had a lot of those already filled.
Great. Good deal. Very good. No questions. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Thanks, Sarah. Item 13, I'm kidding, Trey, it's 12. Consideration to approve Amendment 2 with Coleman Company Incorporated for additional engineering design services for the Marlowe Water and Sewer Construction Project.
Sir, good evening. Trey Wilkins, Capital Projects Project Manager. This is an amendment to the Coleman Company's contract. They are under contract, excuse me, to design a regional water supply well system and a regional sanitary sewer lift station. We've exhausted efforts with a property owner trying to locate a lift station site on Marlowe Road. So we're now having to pivot to another site, and they're having to amend the drawings to reflect that.
So we did not execute any eminent domain on anyone. We tried to negotiate and didn't come to a conclusion. Got it. Perfect. Very good. So $15,000 addition.
Yes, sir.
Very good. No questions. I'll entertain a motion.
A motion we approve.
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None
Thank you.
opposed. Motion carries. All right. That takes us out of our new business. You guys want to run through our reports real quick?
Sure, I have an update on capital projects if you,
Get ready.
I can
Start-
get
start
it
with
done
you.
in that timeline. So since we've got a lot of stuff going on, I will start off with the vertical capital projects, and starting off with Central High School. Obviously, construction is moving towards the kind of the wrapping up interior finishes, but still has a good ways to go before the landscaping and paving and everything goes in there. But it's really starting to look fantastic. I've actually stopped visiting the site so that I get shocked when it gets closer to completion. But it looks unbelievable, and so we've got a tentative completion date of January of 2027 on that. Which actually works out well for us because the elections has to keep in their existing location until the end of, until if there's a runoff, on any sort of special election, if there were a runoff, then they would have time to do that in December. But they can't do it in between elections. So, and there's a whole notification process with regards to the Board of Elections when you change your voting headquarters, particularly where you count the votes. And so that's moving forward, looking fantastic. Marlow Public Safety Building, if you've driven by, you'll see that the old Marlow Public Safety Building is no more. They've got footers in there, and they're getting all the utilities ready to go. That is in the early stages, so that if you remember is not just simply a EMS station, but it'll be moving to a manned fire station and also a substation for the sheriff's office as well at the corner of Blue Jay and 17, with an expected completion date of June 2027. The Rinkin EMS station, they are making serious progress. That is on 21 at 10th Street, right across from the Dollar General. And that we will actually be, we've got 2 EMS ambulances at the Guyton station. So we'll be relocating one there for better coverage on the northern part of Rinkin to quicken response times. And that's moving along nicely. April of 2027 completion. The animal shelter, similar timeline for completion next year, maybe May on that one. But that is obviously a full renovation and an addition. With the animal shelter relocated on the same campus site, but just in the vacant Public Works building. And that's continuing along with all the utility work as they get ready to move into full interior work on the site. And then I will tell you the 2 I'm most excited about are Clio Community Park and the Community Center. Where all the plumbing and wells and septic work is ongoing. The site work continues. They're working on the lighting for not just the fields, but also the parking lot. And we're looking, and I don't want to make any promises, I should probably not even say it, to see if we can get a little bit of extra land in there, simply because the pickleball courts at Baker Pond, I've never seen any parks facility that packed at night. And so we want to try and give them a little relief up there and see if we can get a couple courts up at Clio as well, in addition to Meldrum. And so that we're just looking with a local contractor on that to see if we can get that done towards the end. But also Pinora. And I will tell you that the more and more this Pinora project, Pinora Park goes along, the more excited I am. It is just kind of a diamond in the rough as it was before. But, there's just some absolutely majestic oaks there that we are doing the trails around, putting the dog park in. We are renovating all of the, basically all of the facilities, or rebuilding all the facilities, building a new bathroom facility, building a new playground, a trail system that'll eventually tie to the high-low trail. So it's, and of course, regrading and refencing and putting all new lighting system on all the field and paving the parking lot. That is just going to be an absolutely incredible facility once it's done. And we are looking at a similar timeline, maybe February or March of next year on that. We're doing some minor upgrades at the 119 park, and with regards to the concessions, the press box, as well as the fencing. And we've done lighting, upgraded the lightings to must-go on one of the fields a few years ago where they're doing the remaining, including the multi-purpose field. And so we hope to get that done within the next couple of months. So, and I've got a few minutes to go over some road projects, but all the roundabouts, the Blue Jay Hodgeville, that's looking at about March of 2027 because of the water work that we had to do, the pipeline work that we had to do there. But Blue Jay and Effingham Parkway, we're looking at, well, I'll say Effingham Parkway in general. They're looking at doing the phase of Goshen Road all the way to Blue Jay, including the roundabout at Goshen Road and the roundabout at Blue Jay in September. Blue Jay Midland roundabout, we're talking about construction should be completed May of next year. And then the
Hold it, that second one was where?
that was Midland and Blue Jay.
You said Goshen and Blue Jay was,
Oh, did I say Goshen and Blue Jay?
no, you
No.
said that, that's on the Effingham Parkway.
Okay, Effingham Parkway, so there's two roundabouts.
Right.
Right, in that first phase that opens up.
Right.
And so there's one at Goshen and Effingham Parkway.
Okay.
And there's one at Blue Jay and Effingham Parkway.
Okay.
There's the third one that's being built privately, which will open simultaneously when the Parkway opens, and that's at Gateway, which is a road, a connector road that will connect Hodgeville and McCall.
Okay, and Goshen will be completed when?
The Goshen Road.
Yeah, the roundabout.
So let me get to that. So the Goshen Road Phase 1, which is in the right-of-way acquisition process and kind of at the tail end of it, they are, I know they wanted to go under contract by the end of the year, but I don't have that on the project list.
Okay.
But that's what's, we're just working through a few last property owners on that, trying to figure out how we can work around a few of their concerns.
Phase one's done, right?
What?
Is phase one complete?
No, that's phase one.
That
That's
is phase one, okay.
Yeah, we just got a couple more property owners
Still
in there that
waiting
we're
on a
working
couple.
with. Yeah.
Okay.
And I will say the other hot button one, which is low ground. So we decided to do that in two phases, just so we can get some relief. We're just waiting on one of the companies who has an easement on that. We've gotten all the right of way from phase one, which goes from McCall to. There's a little subdivision on the right-hand side, and I actually don't have the name of it here. But that will start that full construction of that first phase while we wrap up the right-of-way acquisition of the second phase, which takes it from that subdivision all the way to Midland,
Mm-hmm.
and then that section beyond Midland that connects to Blue Jay. So.
What's the right-of-way holdup?
What's that?
What is the right-of-way holdup?
Oh, we're just getting, because it's a gas line easement,
Okay.
we're just waiting to get the corporate stamp of approval from the gas line company on being able to, because we do have to widen the easement there.
That's one of the worst areas too.
I'll say
That
too,
road's
just-
bad in general, but
Yeah,
that
yeah,
part,
that is.
that part is the
Well,
worst.
just the whole legal side of paving a road or
Yes.
widening a road is what takes the longest. The road is the quickest portion. The paving of the road seems to be the quickest portion of it all.
Correct. The right-of-way, the drainage, the utilities.
Yeah.
They're time-consuming, but there's, we're getting towards the end of that on both phases of Goshen and both phases of low ground.
Good.
And that's my report.
Okay. Very good. All right, we're at 6, guys. You guys want to roll through these? Take a break.
Suits me.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, we'll start. Start with G-Force.
Are we going to planning board?
Yep.
What'd you say?
We're gonna just do our commissioner minutes.
Oh, commissioner
now.
reports, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go
The
ahead and
only
give 'em
thing
out of
I
the way.
have, and then I've talked to Seth about this, the folks out in Meldrum were real happy with a lot of the improvements we've done, but one of the things they've asked about is getting the railroad seems to be using their easement as a dumping ground for, and have been for years. And they asked if we had any contacts with the railroad to possibly get them to clean it up and help maintain that. Everything's nice out there now. They want to see the railroad easement mowed and cleaned up. And Seth, I think, has done some work out there, but there's a bunch of,
We can communicate with the IDA, who's got a direct contact with them there, about getting who it is about getting the maintenance done for.
it's like they're
that
using it for
section.
storage in their easement. And,
Yeah.
it,
Like
it's
old
unsightly.
railroad ties and
Right.
and all that.
Anyway,
stuff,
they've asked
yeah.
if we can do something to help get that cleaned up, so. That's it.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah, Tim, do we have an update on when they'll start Goshen Hills as far as paving?
So we communicated with them today, and we're trying to figure out when they can get remobilized. Right now, they are doing some work out on Shear House off of 30. And once they wrap up that, they'll immediately go to Goshen Hills
That's the next one.
to do the full work.
After Goshen, will that go straight to Westwood?
If as so long as the drainage work is complete at Westwood,
They're in the middle of
I
that.
think there's, and I can't remember the name of the road, but there are a couple of roads that they're looking at over there. So if the drainage is complete, they want to move into Westwood right away.
Okay.
But that project had always been contingent on getting the drainage
finished.
improvements done first.
Okay, thank you. That's all I've got.
Very good. Mr. Deluxe?
Just one thing real quick. Tim, thank you for your update earlier. A lot of those recreation projects you mentioned are funded by SPLOST, the penny sales tax. That gives us an option to do special things like that, such as Baker's Pond and Meldrum and Clio and Pinora. We also use that for public safety vehicles, roads, drainage work, and folks outside of our community actually contribute to those projects right here in our community. So appreciate you bringing those project updates up.
Yes,
That's
sir.
all I've got.
Okay. Commissioner Helmy?
I just want to discuss a minute that and I mentioned that I think that we wanted to look at, rescheduling our retreat. And in light of all the discussion regarding the data centers and all that type, that I would like to recommend that we do it in county, and we do it and have a day just solely to devote to that, where there would be a detailed explanation, opportunity for the public to have input, and discussion as well. And I'd like to just see that done. I'd also like to have as part of that discussion, the discussion of a moratorium on further data centers at this time, and as well as a discussion about, relooking at some of the ordinances around it, since that's been brought to our attention in the emails that we've received. I just think that we need a day devoted to this. I'd like to recommend the Saturday, and that way we would not interfere with anybody's work schedule possibly, and have it right here. I mean, I don't see any need to go anywhere. We have this room. We have, of course, the training room. We naturally would put it online. So it'd be an opportunity for people to get the information from us, and then also the opportunity for them to have a chance to speak.
Okay, and
So-
we'll I guess the clerk will probably reach out and try and coordinate what Saturday works best for y'all.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
like to try to do it, as soon as we possibly can.
Yeah, I believe.
I'll
When were
totally
we
support that.
We're supposed to do it on the 14th.
Yeah, we were originally scheduled for August 14th, and I know some people scheduled some times off since we canceled that, but maybe the following
Okay.
weekend, if that would work out. I would like to,
Like I say, if we could do it in August, I think it would be good.
Okay.
I think that will be
It's up to,
the, well, We discussed that, and we're going to talk about it. I wanted it here so we could record it as well, so it'd be obviously broadcast online. It'd be a lot to take that production elsewhere. You want to try to accommodate as many people as possible, but we'll talk about it and see. Very good.
Commissioner, Chairman?
He
Yeah.
I'm with having it in a larger venue as well. I'm sure that we can find television stations or even the high school production crews that they use for their production to be able to take care of those recording responsibilities.
Yeah, we'll weigh that and make sure that we can get it all done in the time frame, because we're trying to get it done as soon as possible. So yeah, you know, everybody wants to speak on it, I know, and I believe that's going to be the correct forum to do it. You know, we have to entertain and do business here. We have to pay bills and all that. I want to dedicate time. Actually, Ms. Beth brought this up, but she and I discussed it, to dedicate time to nothing but the data center, period. That way there's no other distractions from there. Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Owen.
Well,
Yes,
are
ma'am.
you going to answer one more question?
As you decide on that date, I know you said August 14th was the original, but everybody's rescheduled themselves.
Correct.
Can that be taken back into consideration? Because there are timelines that we are up against.
Well, we haven't, you know, we haven't received, you know, still got the DRI completion to be done. And they've also got to submit their site plan to us too, and I haven't seen anything on that. So I don't forecast that being within the next 2 weeks.
Okay, take your word on that.
Yeah, and I got a little bit to add to it too when it's my turn, so.
Okay.
Ms. Beth?
That's all I had, other than, you know, I already mentioned I was glad to see the paving done, because it's just been nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could I piggyback on something there? Today I had a meeting virtually with some Georgia Tech personnel that the chamber's arranging, should be on the 26th, that we're going to do a full panel of Q&A. Different people from every part of it, from OpenAI, from our board, from the chamber, and academia as well. We want somebody that's totally unbiased on this panel. And so far, we've got buy-in from a couple of different professors who have nothing to do with development or anything like that. And that's really what I've been seeking, and it looks like this is going to come to fruition, but it's just now in its infancy stages, so give it a little bit of time, and should materialize.
Very good. Mr. Keeper?
Chairman, is it okay if they ask?
Yeah, give us 1 second. We'll give them a second.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, I'm good with meeting. I'll make myself available. I don't believe I have any plans. I do want to just let everyone know, I'm sure y'all know, Lindsay Smith, my planning board representative, resigned last week. So I just wanted to thank her for her time and
Yeah, we
dedication.
appreciate her time on that steering committee, because I know she spent a lot of time on that and the table of permitted uses, so
Yes.
she did a great job on that.
Good.
Okay, that's all I got.
Thank you. All right. We'll run into mine real quick. A few things. You know, I read all the posts and look at everything that's going on, so I wanted to set a few things straight for the record, and I challenge anybody to prove me wrong. NDAs. None were signed by any elected officials here, period. Point blank, the end, no question. So any elected official within this panel here has signed 0 NDAs. I actually inquired about that prior to, and let the CEO of our IDA let them know that we were going to do that. Secondly, if anyone suspects any wrongdoing of our officials here, GBI Office of Special Investigations, Attorney General and District Attorney, and Ethics and Campaign Finance are who you need to contact. I encourage you to reach out to them should you think there's anything going on with that. County. The county has entered into no agreements, 0 agreements with OpenAI at this time. The only thing that we've given them is a zoning verification letter. Tim, if you want to explain the zoning verification letter,
Sure.
just for clarity.
And so that's actually on our fee schedule. that any landowner or prospective landowner can request it, where they're simply asking, here is the use that we are proposing. Does it conform with the standards for uses on that particular site? But it could also go into what are acceptable accessory type uses as well to that, if it went into that level of detail.
Okay. So again, no agreements, 0 arrangements. Lastly, seen some, conversations concerning IDA members and their removal. Just to be clear, and Madam Clerk, correct me if I'm wrong here. Our IDA members are appointed for 4-year terms, and they are appointed by Rankin, Springfield, Guyton, and our 5 militia districts. So in other words, each city has an appointee. Each militia district of these gentlemen and lady up here appoint. Removal of them, resign, move out of the district, serious misconduct, or term expiration. That's it. We can't, just because of policy disputes, disagreements, we can't remove them. It's a constitutional authority. It's its own entity in itself. So think of it as its own little government within itself. And then the question I had, Tim, I drove through today our fire station that's on Goshen Extension.
Yes.
And the apartment complex is between there. I know that's a private road, but it's like a minefield over there. Is there any enforcement mechanisms the county has to enforce private property owners that have thoroughfares to maintain their roads properly at all?
Is it a private road?
Well, so it depends where you're talking about. We did take over most of the roads there.
Yeah, when you come through and you can come out where that split is, where you right across from Parker's.
Yeah, that's where it turns private. Yeah.
Okay.
And it goes right up to the apartments, correct, in the back?
Yeah, so it would be the gap between the 2 apartments. You've got the road that parallels that runs back to the road to the, I think it's assisted living or something back there in the back.
Okay.
And then you've got the 2 roads that parallel each other that both connect to Goshen Extension. One goes by the little shopping center there. That's the one I'm talking about. It's got a whole.
Let me check. We did take over just recently. It was maybe 8 months ago, where we negotiated with the folks who own the roads because we have a fire station there.
Right.
I will actually check to see if that's our road.
It's
I know we
bad.
resurfaced some of the roads out there just a few months ago. We may be going back out there. It may be under contract to get the remainder of the work done. Can ask the county engineer tomorrow and get back to you.
Okay, yeah, and if we can, let's go ahead and get somebody just to spot, do something, because when I kid you not, one of them's that deep. So. That's all I have for now. With that, we're going to take a recess for 5 minutes and return back for planning board. Sorry, everyone. That was a little longer than 5 minutes. We'll call the meeting back to order. We'll move into our planning board. We'll be starting our unfinished items on planning board. That would be section 10, unfinished business. First item is the second reading. Consideration to approve the second reading of an application submitted by Lynn Jeffers Jr. to rezone plus or minus 5.04 acres located at 489 Noel C. Conaway Road from AR1 to AR2 to allow for permitted uses in AR2, and plus or minus 1 acre from AR2 to B2 to allow for permitted uses in B2. Map number 352, parcel number 73 and 74 in the 1st District. Postponed by the board June 2nd. Postponed July 21st, 2026 at the applicant's request, and then postponed July 21st, 2026 due to added stipulation. I will entertain a motion.
If nothing's changed, I will make a motion that we approve the second reading.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Unopposed, motion carries.
Oh, nope.
Oh, sorry. We have one
One no, please.
no. Sorry. Gotta speak up, Miss Beth. I couldn't hear you.
Well, you didn't give me a chance.
I'm fast. All right. Item 2, second reading. Consideration to approve the second reading for an application by Lynn Jeffers Jr. for a variance from section 3.4 located at 489 Noel C. Conaway Road to allow for modification of buffer requirements in B2. Map number 352, parcel number 73 in the 1st District. Postponed by the board June 2nd, 2026. Postponed July 21st, 2026 at agenda approval at the applicant's request, and postponed 7/21/2026 due to added stipulation. I will entertain a motion.
I make a motion we approve the second reading.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
No.
Okay. Noted the one opposition. Motion carries. All right. Moving to item, section 15, planning board. Item number 1 is a public hearing. Consideration to approve an application submitted by Scott Munson as agent for Keith Blocker to rezone plus or minus 3 acres located at US Highway 80 from AR1 to B3 to allow for permitted uses in B3. Map number 378, parcel number 2 in the 1st District.
Thank you. Kimberly Barlett, Senior Planner. The proposed development consists of a self-storage facility with 254 enclosed storage units, 21 outdoor spaces for trailers, recreational vehicles, and boats, and a 2,850 square foot operations building. If approved, the subject property would be combined with the adjoining parcel 37A-6, which is already zoned B3. The surrounding area includes agricultural residential properties, manufactured home communities, commercial businesses, and other B3 zoned land along Highway 80 corridor. The rezoning represents an increase in intensity compared with the existing AR1 zoning. However, self-storage facilities generally generate less traffic, requires fewer employees, and places less demand on public service than many other commercial uses. The development would remain subject to the county's parking, buffering, landscaping, sidewalk, lighting, and stormwater site plan requirements. A 30-foot vegetative buffer is required along all sides, and lighting must be redirected away from the residentially zoned properties. The property does not contain any wetlands or floodplains. The property is served by private well and septic. The property is designated agricultural residential on the future land use map. Therefore, the B3 zoning is not fully consistent with the designation. However, the site is located within the commercial corridor overlay, and it is adjacent to existing B3 zonings. These factors support the consideration for a commercial development. During July 14, 2026 public hearing, the planning board discussed access, fencing, screening, buffers, lighting, and watershed impacts and security. Citizens raised concerns regarding the clearing of the property, light pollution, limited job creation, and potential effects on surrounding property values. Following the discussion, planning board voted unanimously to recommend approval. Staff finds that the request is compatible with the evolving development pattern along Highway 80 corridor and consistent with the intent of the B3 district. And that is it. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, ma'am. If the applicant is here and has anything they want to add, please come forward, or his agent.
Good evening. I'm Scott Munson with Thomas & Hutton Engineering Company, here representing the owner of the property, E.B. Miles Properties. And we're in agreement with the planning board and staff recommendations for approval, and I'm here to answer any questions you might have.
Pull it up now. Forrest, is your district, you have anything, sir?
As long as, did it meet all the ordinance requirements? Kimberly?
I think the wrong parcel's represented up there. Is that,
Yes, one to the right of it.
should be the one to the right.
No, it's both, actually.
It's both of them?
They'll
Okay.
be,
378.
they'll be recombined.
This is it's generally adjacent to the fuel station. That's a fuel or convenience store right there on the corner, right? Up front?
The 1794.
Right.
1790 convenience store.
Okay.
So the left parcel stormwater and the right parcel is the buildings, I guess?
What's that?
Is the left parcel the storm, I'm just trying to get a bearing.
Yes,
where
if
it's-
you look at the
Right.
screen right now, you'll see that to the upper left, that is, that's where the stormwater pond's going to be.
Okay. Okay, what are our buffer requirements on that?
It's 30 foot, I believe. and it's
30
gonna be
foot?
vegetated.
And are they gonna maintain a natural buffer there? Is there trees there presently, or?
There are trees there now, and the buffer will meet the code requirements.
So they're not gonna be taken down?
Correct.
Okay. Good. All right. Any further questions? All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Do we have anybody opposing?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. You're right. I'm sorry. This is a public hearing. Anyone else here for, please come forward. Anyone here in opposition, please come forward. Thank you, Forrest.
All right, with that, I'll make a motion, we approve with staff and
I'm sorry.
planning board. Oh, did you have?
No, I'm sorry.
You're
I'm sorry.
choking.
I am.
Make a motion, we
Went down
approve.
wrong.
Yeah, make a motion, we approve with planning board and staff recommendations.
Second?
No, ma'am, we don't have anybody opposed coming forward. I asked for it. Yes, sorry. I'm all out of order tonight. Closing the public hearing. Entertain the motion again, please, sir.
All right. With that, I'll make a motion, we approve with staff and planning board recommendations.
I'll second.
We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Item 2, second reading. Consideration to approve the second reading of an application submitted by Scott Munson as agent for Keith Blocker to rezone plus or minus 3 acres located at US Highway 80 from AR1 to B3 to allow for permitted uses in B3. Map number 378, parcel number 2 in the 1st district. Entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve the second reading.
Second.
A motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Item 3, the public hearing. Consideration to approve an application submitted by Gary Wiggins, GW Investments, to rezone plus or minus 136 acres located on McCall Road from AR1 to R5 to allow for permitted uses in B3, map number 413, parcel number 8 in the 4th district. Before we get started, I'm assuming everybody can hear me in the other room over there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
If there are people here in opposition, I understand there are. If you'd go ahead and start making a line outside the door to the main commission chambers, I'd appreciate it. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. The parent tract contains approximately 146 acres. Approximately 10 acres will be subdivided from the property and remain zoned AR1 and receive access from Timbergate Trail. That parcel will not be included in the proposed subdivision. The applicant proposes a 303 lot, single-family detached subdivision. The proposed lots would measure approximately 50 by 120 feet with a minimum area of 6,000 square feet. The applicant proposes a 50-foot vegetated buffer around the development exceeding the required 30-foot perimeter buffer. Along McCall Road, where rear-facing lots are proposed, the plan includes the required 50-foot buffer and a 6-foot berm. This is a revised proposal of previous requests including approximately 342 dwelling units consisting of townhomes and detached homes. Following a recommendation of denial by the planning board, that application was withdrawn before consideration by the Board of Commissioners. The current proposal reduces the total number of units to 303 and eliminates the townhomes. Wetlands and FEMA-designated flood hazard areas are located on the portions of the property, and a wetland delineation has been submitted. The rezoning represents a substantial increase in density compared with the existing rural development pattern. It would increase traffic and demand on roads, schools, utilities, emergency services, and other public facilities. However, the site's availability of public water and sewer supports higher residential density, and proposed buffers, open space, sidewalks, and amenities are intended to mitigate impacts. The property is designated agricultural residential on the future land use map. This designation supports residential development, including higher densities where adequate infrastructure is available. During the July 14, 2026 public hearing, the Planning Board discussed infrastructure, walkability, buffers, open space, parking, traffic, and improvements to McCall Road. Citizens expressed concerns regarding wildlife and habitat loss, municipal and school capacity, flooding, rural character, traffic, noise, crime, railroad proximity, and the number of residential units already approved in the county. Following the discussion, Planning Board voted 2-1 to recommend denial. The recommendation was based on concerns regarding the number of homes currently for sale in the county, approximately 5,000 residential units already approved, and the timing of the proposed development. Staff finds that the proposed rezoning is generally compatible with surrounding land uses and consistent with the intent of the R5 zoning district. The request is generally consistent with the agricultural residential future land use map designation, which supports residential development where adequate infrastructure is available. Although the proposal represents a higher residential density than the surrounding rural development pattern, the proposed subdivision incorporates substantial buffering, open space, public infrastructure, sidewalks, and amenities designed to minimize impacts to the adjacent properties and protect public health and safety and welfare. Any questions?
That's all you got. Very good, thank you. The applicant is here. Has anything to add, please come forward.
Good evening, Chairman and Commissioners. John Giordano with Thomas & Hutton, representing the applicant Gary Wiggin and GW Investments. And I've got a presentation I'm going to run through here. Waiting for it to pop up. Is it up?
It's up.
It's up. Okay, I can't see it here. So, yep. All right. Next slide, please. So I believe we're looking at the location map right now. So this was an application that was submitted in late 2025. That was already mentioned in the staff report. And we went to planning board, heard some concerns, and we pulled the application before we made it before commission because we wanted to go back and address some of those concerns and present a better project for the county. So next slide, please. Sorry. So before you here is the existing zoning map, which was already presented. And I just wanted to go ahead and highlight the portion of the property that we are looking to rezone. As it was mentioned in the staff report, we are not looking to rezone that 10-acre portion that is immediately adjacent to the Timbergate subdivision. That will remain a single lot. That will be the only lot that will be accessed through the Timbergate. The remaining 136-ish acres will be accessed off of McCall Road. Next slide, please. So this is the future land use map that you see before you. And as it was mentioned, what we're proposing is consistent with the future land use map. It's agricultural residential, which supports agricultural, residential, and mixed-use districts. And those residential types can include single-family residential, townhomes, multifamily, and mixed use. All that's outlined in the comprehensive plan. Next slide. All right. Sorry, it's a little awkward stepping back and forth. So here we've got the adjacent development exhibit. We understand there's concerns with the R5 and that it's going to be, the density concerns. But we also understand that this is a new district. hasn't really been done before. There's not a lot of R5 that's out there, and so that concern's going to be there because it's kind of the unknown. But we also understand that the county spent a lot of time and effort refining those ordinances and really developing an ordinance that, you know, the county could get behind and promote a good product and a good project for the county. So as you can see, where we're located, there is other existing development that's around there. We've got, you know, Blue Jay Commons. It's hard to read here, but we got the new Creekside Elementary coming in. There's a lot of other existing higher density development that's in that corridor. So this would not necessarily be something new for this area, but it would be one of the first R5s in that area. And there was mention about spot zoning. Again, you know, that was something that came up during the planning board. Is it spot zoning? Not really, because there's really no other R5s out there. So anytime that first piece that comes in is going to be by itself. So at the planning board, there was also a comment about not impacting the rural way of life within the Timbergate. And I bring this up on this slide because, again, you can see the Timbergate subdivision up there. We're not impacting that. Our development's going to access on Blue Jay Road, on McCall. Timbergate's only going to have a single lot that's accessing through that neighborhood. The way of life within that community will remain. There's going to be one new neighbor. Next slide, please. Okay. So here before you, you have the site plan. This is the updated site plan. So as it was mentioned, our previous plan came through with 342 units. That was a mix of single family and townhomes. When we came before planning board, our first go round, we heard the concern about the density. So we went back to the drawing boards and we revised that. We reduced density. We got rid of the townhomes. So now we're proposing 303 units, all single family. So that's a reduction of 39 units. A couple of the other changes that were made, we moved the amenity up to the front of the development, kind of create more of an entrance. We actually shifted one of the entrances. We heard some concern about proximity for the southernmost entrance. There's a new road that will be coming through. We shifted that to get it away from that new road. Required open space. We worked hard on making sure that we not only met, but we far overshot what the requirement is. The required open space is 20.8 acres. That's 25% of the net developable area. Our plan provides 47.4, 57%. So again, far and above what the requirement is. How do we meet that open space? Through trails, pocket parks, the buffers. The trails will extend out through some of these typically inaccessible uplands, but we're making those accessible to the residents. And because of that, we get to utilize that open space, allows the residents a chance to get out there. One of the other requirements under the new ordinance for a lot that has more than 200 units is a multi-purpose field. And one of the pocket parks that's been identified in the plan upper right, we're proposing that will be the location of a proposed multi-purpose field. Next slide, please. All right. So this slide actually wasn't in the presentation for planning board, but we did hear concerns about proximity to the neighbors. So we went ahead, we went back and I added this in here. The closest building setback from our proposed development to an existing structure is approximately 900 feet. That's the closest one. That's about 3 football fields. Most of the others are over 1,800 feet. So there's a large separation between our proposed development and the existing Timbergate subdivision. Not only is it just a separation, but there's a wetland and a stream that goes through there. So there's a huge buffer, and we did that on purpose. We understood that that neighborhood, it likes its neighborhood and its feel, and we didn't want to have an impact on that. And so we created these buffers to separate our development from that. Next slide, please. All right. Traffic, we understand concern about traffic, so we went back and we've gone ahead and drawn in and understood that all of the proposed left-hand, right-hand turn lanes widening associated with that, we can fit all those in to the existing county right-of-way within the frontage of our property. So we can get all the turn lane storage and taper lengths in there and not actually have any impact on any adjacent property with that. Through conversations with staff and Jonathan, we understand that, you know, the county is potentially looking at doing a multi-purpose trail along McCall Road in this section. We're happy to work with the county. The county has about 200 feet of right-of-way through there, so there's clearly plenty of right-of-way, but we will happily coordinate installation and work with Jonathan on that trail. Next slide, please. So next, we've got the wetlands. We went ahead and reached out to the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. We have a jurisdictional determination. The only jurisdictional wetland is that which follows right along the creek. All of the other wetlands are deemed non-jurisdictional, non-functioning. Next slide, please. And I think should be the, yep, okay. So the aerial imagery, I think, really helps to tell that story, because if you look back in 2007, the site was wooded. But then when you jump forward to 2019, half the site was timbered, cleared. That included those non-jurisdictional wetlands. So again, well, are they low-lying areas on that site? Yes, they are, but they're not jurisdictional wetlands. They're non-functioning, to the point that they've already been cleared and impacted multiple times. So if you jump forward to the next slide, please. So this slide was 2023. And we can see the remaining portion of the site was cleared as well. So some of those other non-jurisdictional areas have already been impacted. But what you do see is the creek, and that area was not impacted. And we would not propose any impacts to those wetlands or to that creek. Next slide, please. So I believe on the screen right now is the FEMA flood hazard map. And what you'll notice is we do have a special regulatory floodway that follows right along the creek. And the only regulated floodplain on the site follows right along those wetlands that flank the sides of the creek. So again, no impact to any of those wetlands. Next slide, please. So we understand drainage is also a concern. So we took the time, we did a preliminary drainage analysis, and excuse me, understand that we looked at the pre-development runoff and did a preliminary stormwater model, and we're able to prove that post-development, we can detain all of our water on site. County requires us to detain up to the 100-year storm event, not increase runoff. Not a problem. With the size and the design of the ponds, we can accommodate that easily. Next slide, please. There's mention of off-site utilities, and that being one of the driving factors for this higher density development. So we understand that the county's already working on some planned utility improvements through this area. We've met with Trey and with Tim, talking through some of these planned improvements, as well as the county's other consultant working on these. We've already talked, my clients put together a draft development agreement that I believe has been sent over, looking at ways that we can help facilitate the installation and construction of some of these utilities for the county, help expedite that process. So, next slide, please. And with that, that brings me to the end of the presentation. I hope I'm on the last slide. Yep. Okay. So if there are any questions, happy to help, happy to answer. We got Ryan Thompson here, who's also with Thomas and Hutton. If there are any questions for him specific to the land plan. And again, we've also got the property owner here as well.
Is there any need for any variances from the county?
We're not looking for any variances, no, sir. We have met all of the R5 standards, and far and exceeded most of them.
What's the minimum square footage in the homes?
Minimum square footage on the homes, I can't answer that right now. Right now, we're looking at the plan. I don't know if there's actually a building footprint that's been identified. Obviously, we'll meet the minimum lot standards.
Is there a final builder? No, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Is there a builder identified that would be,
That's the question I was going to ask.
yeah?
I'll let Gary come up.
Gary Wigan, owner of the property. Approximate square footage be 18 to 2,400 square feet.
Is there a builder?
No, sir.
There's no builder.
So there'll be no wetlands mitigation?
No, sir.
That's what he said.
Just clarifying here. Any other questions for them?
Not right now.
Right now.
Okay. May have more later, so. Good. Anyone else here for, please come forward. Being I see none, I'll open it up to opposition. Anyone here in opposition, please come forward. Thank you. We're setting a 15-minute timer on this, so let's try to respect others that want to speak as well. Yes, ma'am.
Chairman Ron, can
Yes,
you
ma'am.
speak
Could
up
you
a little bit?
State your name, please, for the record. Sorry.
Janelle Gillespie, I live on Timbergate Lane. I have the same concerns I did the last time that they brought this development. I think R5 does not fit the character of the neighborhood at all. I would be happier to see AR1, AR2. I think that would match what is existing, and it would match the feel of the farms that are directly adjacent to this. A new comment that I have is I have heard that there is a proposed data center across the railroad tracks in the land that's owned by Greenland Development. I don't think that all of the houses that they are planning to put right up against the railroad tracks, first of all, that's too close to the railroad.
That's City of Rankin. That is outside the county's purview.
Yeah, but I think the residents who would be living in those houses would not be happy to have that data center right there. And so I think that that is another reason that this this R5 designation that they're wanting to build is just too dense.
Very good. I'm going to interrupt you real quick. Steph, you pause timer real quick. Another point that I meant to make earlier. I spoke to the Rankin officials. There is no entertainment of any data center in Rankin at this time. Just to be clear. Zero entertainment of any data center. That property is being marketed by Greenland developers. Should they bring it to their attention, that will be handled within the City of Rankin. Also, I forgot one other point of clarification. The chairman only votes when there's a tie up here. So I just wanted to clear that up. The chairman only votes when there is a tie. That's it. Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hurricane Debbie gave us 13.5 inches of rain in our neighborhood. While I see that they are not building up against the creek, I'm not sure if their 1% flood event or whatever it was that the developer said would handle that amount of water. It was a lot of water. And we all know that hurricanes can get worse than they have been in the past. I think that people move to our area for a rural way of life. we don't want to live in the city, and R5 sure seems a lot more city-like than an AR1 or an AR2. I'm also very worried about the increased traffic on McCall. I know that they're putting in those turn lanes, but that really doesn't help the added traffic at Blue Jay and McCall and Ninth and McCall. Those two intersections are awful. And it's just gonna be worse with, you think, at least 2 trips a day per house, probably more like 4 trips a day per house, per housing unit. That's gonna be ridiculous. And it's already sometimes hard to get out of our neighborhood. So I would hope that you all take that all into consideration. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. If you want to go ahead and form a line, you can. That way I can kind of have an idea. Go ahead, sir. State your name, please.
John Nance, Timbergate Trail.
Thank
you. The subject of traffic has come up a few times. I just want to run a few facts at you here. Per the GDOT site, in 2020, there were about 2,500 cars per day going down McCall Road. In 2024, it's up over 8,000. They don't have any data for 2026 yet. I'm sure you can imagine it's probably over 10,000 by now. The intersection at Blue Jay and McCall is the 3rd highest accident intersection in the county. That's right out of the master plan. That intersection also receives an F for level of service. That's right out of the master plan. Any improvements to the road, as we know, take years upon years. If you add any improvements to the road right now, it would take several years. I mean, the subject came up earlier tonight about the roundabout at Blue Jay and Hodgeville. That's been well over a year and works. I mean, it's a simple roundabout. I know delays happen for different reasons, but that's just a good example of how long things take to get anything done. Effingham Parkway will eventually open, and when that parkway opens up, the traffic on McCall Road is going to increase dramatically. All the people from North Effingham will use that as a route to get to the parkway. If I lived in North Effingham, I would do the same thing. So you can imagine what it's like right now. That road's a truck route, approved truck route. You have dump trucks going down that road already, and bigger trucks. And, you could almost rename McCall Road McCall Parkway pretty soon, because that's what it is. It's going to be. There's not a stoplight or anything that slow that traffic down from 21 all the way over to Blue Jay. So, and adding 300 homes to that area, you can just, it would be irresponsible to add that much traffic to what's going to be, already is a bad situation. It's been mentioned already that there's well over 4,000 open home permits already in use or approved. So, and we really don't need any more homes. The development will need water and sewer. The map I looked at showed the closest water and sewer over at the power plant or on Blue Jay Road. So the power plant, you're gonna have to go about a half a mile through trees and around a farm, solar farm to get to it, or about 3/4 of a mile from Blue Jay to get to it. I mean, my question is, who's gonna pay for that? We're gonna pay for something, is the county gonna pay to bring all that water and sewer out there to something we really don't need? Yes, small houses are like starter homes. There's gonna be a lot of kids in there. They're gonna need schools to go to. The schools we have are already full, and we can't, when they fill up fast as we can build them. So, last thing I'll mention on this is that the planning board has declined this recommendation 2 times and for 2 different readings, and I would recommend that the commission follows the will of the planning board. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
My name's Alex Walker. I also live in the Timbergate neighborhood, and I kind of echo some of the same concerns. With 303 new homes is a minimum of usually about 600 cars. You could say that's going to be everyday traffic, bus routes, on top of what has already been installed since I moved in, built my home in 2020. And we built, not a house, we built a home. It's where we wanted to raise my daughter in a neighborhood, in a rural area where I grew up, where I enjoyed it the most. And it's a culture that we have around there that we would like to keep in this small section of Effingham. Since I've been here, I've seen many of these neighborhoods go up in the past 5 years. There's 2 or 3 right there on Blue Jay that have popped up in the last 5 years. And it's just going to continue, and we don't have the overflow we don't have the roads right now to handle all that traffic or where all these people are going to work. It's going to make traffic getting to Rankin even worse. It's just, if we continue, I know we have to grow as a community, but I would like to see some parts of it stay as a rural area, AR1, with bigger lots and homes, just so we can save a little piece of what we have. And that's all I really have to say.
Thanks, sir.
Hi, my name is David Smith. I'm a Timbergate resident also. Putting that many homes next to an agricultural-based neighborhood creates a dangerous traffic crisis on an already busy road. The dump trucks will run you over. At 5 o'clock in the morning when I leave for work, you have to sit there 10 minutes before you can get out with all the other traffic. I'm concerned about the school traffic now that the school's back open. Because to come through Calamity Corner down there, you risking your life at every time. I want to know if there's been a wildlife study done. What's going to happen with the wildlife when they clear cut it all? And are they going to plant trees back? I mean, is that part of their deal? Are they going to plant? They going to take down thousands of trees? Or are they going to put any back? The parking, with that smaller lot, you're not going to be able to park your car in your driveway. You're going to have to put one out on the road. Yes, they have garages, but how many neighborhoods have you ridden through and the garage doors are open and you can't get a car in there if you wanted to? You can't get emergency vehicles in. You can't get trash trucks in. You can't get school buses in due to the cars parked on both sides of the road. I'm concerned about that with the high density. And just the noise in general. When we moved here 30 years ago, it was so peaceful. When I came home, I didn't want to leave home. And I'm just asking that you please oppose this. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Hi, I'm Deborah Tovar. I also live in Timbergate. I live in the very back of the Timbergate subdivision. And I just want to reiterate what everybody has been expressing. The presentation was lovely. That's their job. That is their job. They are here to make money for their company, and that is their job. This is our life. This is our families. This is our livelihood. This is our heart. This is their money. We came to Effingham because we loved Effingham. We love living here. We love the aura of Effingham. The people that are coming here are not Effingham residents. They are not part of Effingham. They don't have a vested interest in our lives. We do. This is going to cause upheaval in our lives. The traffic that has been mentioned, the flooding that has been mentioned, we are very concerned about that. Yes, they can say that these creeks are going to be able to hold it. I'm concerned that, like she said, a hurricane come through, is that creek really going to be able to hold it? Do we know that? Have we seen that? They can do all the studies they want to, but you know the weather has a way of doing what it wants to do and not what we want it to do. That water has a way of doing what it wants to do and not what we want to do. My best friends live on that track that's going to be backing up to that. Where's that water going to go? I live on the ditch that creek is going to empty into between the railroad track and our subdivision. Where's that water going to go? Is it gonna go into my yard? Is it gonna go into their houses? This is our lives. It is not money for us. This is what we are passionate about, that we live here and we live in peace. When we bring that many smaller homes than ours into a subdivision and put that many people that close to us, it's going to cause issues with, as I said, other people have said, the noise, the traffic, and the flooding and everything else. We are asking you to please, we don't mind the growth if it is at a certain pace. When you put that many houses in a subdivision, next to a subdivision, that is a rural subdivision, that is a mini farm. It's Timbergate mini farms. When you put that many houses into a subdivision, next to a subdivision like that, what's gonna happen to our property values? You're putting smaller houses that are gonna cost much less than what most of ours cost. And right up next to us, what happens to our subdivision? What happens to our lives? That's what we're asking you to do. Let it remain what it is, and put houses in there, but not 300. You know, let it be 5 acres like we have, 5 acres plus. Not a little tiny lot with a little tiny house. Not a starter home. We are not a starter home community in Timbergate. We are an established community. And that's what we are asking you to do, is please consider that when you put a subdivision, even though the developer is saying, oh, it won't affect them, it won't affect them, how can it not affect us when it is in our backyard? Please understand that it is not money for us. It is our lives, it is our heart, it is our children. It is what we want to raise our families as in this wonderful county that we have, and remain the wonderful county that we have, and not bring in so much that we are no longer the Effingham that we all have grown to love and we all grew up in. Thank you very much.
I'm going to be brief because I do realize I have 1 minute left, so I just want to state the fact that I am not for or against this planning. I don't want to fight it. However, I would like to have the planning board to require a cumulative traffic and infrastructure impact study, one that accounts for not only the rezoning of this property, but also the other industrial properties, as well as the 4,000, I think I heard, home properties building that have been approved already. And just make sure that this isn't gonna be too much of a stretch for our infrastructure, for our environment, and for the rest of the community as well.
Okay, can we get your name, sir?
Yep,
Would you
sorry, sir.
get your name?
I'm sorry, Raymond Carver.
Thank you, Raymond.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Very good. That concludes our public hearing section. I'll close it and open up for discussion from the board. Ms. Beth?
Yes,
I'll
my
start with you.
districts, I'll start. I would like to ask, how many are here? I think you asked how many was for it. No, no one. But can I see the hands of everyone that's here that's against it, please? Thank you. I watched the planning board meeting, and I don't remember one of the planning board members. He said it was just bad timing, and I think there's a lot to say with that. I do appreciate really what you've done to go back and try to address some of these issues, but we do have an infrastructure here, and even though you're going to put the lanes in for turning, that doesn't really get away from the traffic. And I think some of the people mentioned this, so I'm going to state some of the things they already stated. But Creekside, we're not sure what's going to happen. Tomorrow morning, the school system's not even sure what's going to happen with that. Now, of course, the first few days of school traffic's always horrible because everybody brings a kid. But that will settle out, but still, you've got a school that's probably, I don't know what Creekside is, I would assume 700-800 kids. So, you know, you're going to have a lot of traffic from that we're just not sure about. The Parkway, of course, hopefully will open within the next year. And as one of the gentlemen mentioned, that's going to add more trucks. One of the main things with the traffic with me is not necessarily as much cars, it's that dump truck traffic. I think somebody mentioned it. That road has 2 dirt pits on it. And I mean, there's just hundreds of dump trucks that run I think a lot of them are going to 95 or anyway, they're going towards Savannah. But I mean, if you ride up and down that road, you just got dump trucks everywhere. And that's just not going to get better right now until those pits are done. And I think they probably got a year or more to go. So you just got the traffic issues there. And I think one of the guys mentioned too, when you're also going to start have semis on there when the truck route's open. The issue of the three-way stop is horrible. Of course, we're scheduled to put a roundabout there. That's going to be a little while. But until that's built, you're still going to have to deal with that three-way stop. So that's just not ready yet. That's where I go back, I guess, to the timing issue. It does concern me, too, that they don't have a builder. Since I've been on here, I've heard stories about how some builders are really good that are national builders to work with, and some are terrible to work with. So with them not having a builder yet, that concerns me. You know, I know we have our ordinances, and I know they're higher scale. And he mentioned that, you know, in his presentation, you know, that y'all have done a lot of stuff to do, but you still have somebody coming in. And if it's one of those national builders that has given us troubles in the past, it's just going to put a lot of work on our staff to make sure that they're building those roads right. I mean, those houses right. And that has to be a concern, because that's one of the things I've heard since I've been on here. So, you know, we do already have a house. You know, we're not going to have a house shortage anytime soon. You know, you constantly hear that $4,000 to $6,000, $4,000 to $6,000 house that's out there that hadn't been built yet. So I do think this area is going to develop in the future. I'm not sure that something like this may one day get there. I can't deny that. But at the moment, we're just not ready for that many houses, given everything else that we have with the infrastructure. The planning board, the two that voted against it, had the same comments. The gentleman who was on vacation also sent, who is my representative actually, but anyway, he said, you know, that he was in agreement with denying it for the same reasons that have been mentioned tonight. So I'll agree with the gentleman that said it's bad timing. It's just too much else going on with that to just dump that much more traffic and issues there. So that's my take.
Thank you, ma'am. 1,200 students, Creekside.
Pardon?
Creekside was built to accommodate 1,200 students.
1,200.
Yes, ma'am. Tim, a couple questions for you, and they were brought up during this discussion. Who would pay for that infrastructure for sewer and water? And where would they be tying in?
Yeah, so we have to do some infrastructure upgrades related to the school. And they would be tying in coming from the school, and they'd be responsible for that expense.
So everything from its point of origin all the way back to down McCall Road?
Correct, unless the county wanted to upsize it for any reason beyond what their requirements are.
Mm-hmm.
They would be responsible for the extension there.
And that's standard.
But it's not as far as the power plant or the I forget where around the corner, but it goes up and around. We have to make some upgrades to those two neighborhoods, Blandford Crossing, and I forget what the other one is. But all of that's currently under plan right now, but they'd have to get it from there to the site.
Okay, and that's just for.
But now the water is a different story. The water, that is right in back of where our new plant is. That's sewer, what I just mentioned.
Right.
The water will be going basically on the power line easement. That's one property south of them, so that's a little closer.
Okay, and just for clarification, since this was brought up, this is standard practice for the county. So a new development comes in, they're responsible to bring their infrastructure to there, unless the county wants to subsidize and make it a larger system.
Correct. I mean, technically, they will have to submit a will serve letter. We can either approve or deny it. If it's not within 1,000 feet. If it's within 1,000 feet, they have no choice. They have to extend it there. In most cases, what happens, if it's over 1,000 feet, we leave it up to the developer to make that extension beyond the 1,000 feet.
Okay, so just for clarification, the county does not subsidize the developers. We don't basically put the pipe in the ground for them.
Correct.
Right.
And keep in mind also that all developments are subject to cost recovery fees.
Correct.
So even the wastewater treatment plant capacity and the water plant capacity, they got to pay for it.
Gotcha.
But in this case, it's a little farther than 1,000 feet, but they'd be responsible for taking care of that.
Cool.
Let me add two more things, actually. The one is there, the city of Rankin has approved 70 houses right there where that roundabout's going. So that's going to add to the traffic and mess there. And of course, I think Alex Long is building out that one right past there on the right. I think he's building.
Correct. That would be the connection point. They're paying, because they may be in the city of Rankin, but they're getting water and sewer from the county. And so they are paying to bring the water and sewer there. And then I think it would probably, logically, it would come from there to get tied over to there.
I was actually mentioning that because that's that many more, I think.
Yeah, I think those are
houses.
two townhouse communities,
Yes,
if I'm
two
correct.
townhouse communities there, plus, I think 70-ish that's going right there at the roundabout. So you've got those that already been approved.
Yeah, you got purchase of that vacant property on 9th Street as well. That's going to be on the left-hand side if you're going towards that intersection, McCall. And Rankin proper is up for sale as well.
It's just that area is just, like I said, it's just a lot going on.
Yeah, there's 10,000 cars a day going down 9th Street. Was the last count. Very good. I just want to make that point of clarification. I'm trying to kill a bunch of rumors tonight, so I want to be sure that the county does not subsidize a builder to, we don't solicit. Anybody has the option to come here and petition us for anything. They have that right to do that, and we have to hear them, just like we're hearing them now. Very good. Any other add-ins from anyone?
Is there a traffic study required at this point? Keep hearing about
There will
traffic.
be.
Is that required, or has been done anything with the traffic study?
It will be at the development plan portion. At development plan, that's when it'll be
Come
required.
in. And the parking mentioned, we've discussed that quite a bit in these new developments, some extra parking for overflow. How is that addressed?
That also
would
will
be-
be addressed. Oh,
Will that be at the site plan, or is that, I don't see anything here.
Well, just so you know, they would have to, this is not a site plan, preliminary site plan
just
approval.
rezone.
So they're going to have to, so they haven't gone through that level of detail yet, but I think, Ryan, you'll probably mention
Just ask.
the new parking requirements in R5. He can bring them up.
That force brings up a good question. Traffic studies, if we're looking at rezoning to a particular zoning model, we have to assume that what they're rezoning for is the maximum count that's going to be there. So is there a reason traffics aren't asked for before then? Before that phase?
Well, we're not approving, so
No, you're not approving a site plan, but you have the potential. The potential is always going to be there for it once it's rezoned for this to be what it's going to be.
And that's kind of the conversation that we've been having recently, is that when things come up for rezoning, these issues like drainage and traffic come up, and whether or not we either recommend or require those plans to be in advance of rezoning.
Right.
They've actually, I've not seen this before, but they've done a stormwater plan for property that's not zoned yet. So, but they may have done something on the traffic plan. I just don't know. I'm just saying that they will be required to do it if they haven't.
And I think my understanding is the traffic plan is not to determine whether the roads will handle it or not. It determines what improvements need to be made to handle it.
Correct.
Is that
Right. And
I mean,
with those studies too, Phil, and I
premature.
mentioned this in one of the, I believe it was a ZITRA here that we had. We have to, looking at a local area is fine, but Port Wentworth's developing like it's going out of style. And every major route that we have is a state route that leaves this county. We have no control over that until they decide to develop it. So You know, I'll say it again, the 2-liter bottle and the 12-ounce bottle of Coke have the same top that you open. Everything kind of funnels together there. So are we extending, or have we considered extending out those traffic impacts for those areas that we do have control over, and extending the area of coverage for it? As far as
That, you're saying how far it goes out to the
Correct. I
distance
mean,
and the
typical
standard,
route.
what's required in a standard traffic
right, so your
impact
typical
analysis?
ingress and egress areas to where you're going to go, not just the cumulative area that you're.
Well, you know, at some point, you know, they have to, you know, it has to stop, and what picks it up from there is the is the countywide transportation master plan.
Mm-hmm.
And so transportation master plan has to make some assumptions on growth. That's really the main purpose of it, is to determine, you know, based on this growth model, how are the roads going to handle traffic in 10 years and 20 years and 30 years. And so I think how it
That's just
affects the
what's
individual
within our
developments
purview,
will
though,
be a
right?
small window, and then beyond that, it goes to the countywide plan.
Right. Very good. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead, Ryan.
You don't have to apologize to me. Ryan Thompson, landscape architect, Thomas and Hutton. I thought I would address the parking a little bit, but I'll touch on a couple of other things that I heard if I could. And I know I'll try to be brief. I know we've been here for a bit, but related to the parking, yes, there's definitely a standard beyond the 2 per space. The typical standard used to be the new ordinance that has been a lot of effort going through has added to that requirement. I know the plant's very small. We do have dedicated parking at each of the amenity areas. I'm not going to do like John and jump back and forth. I'm going to assume y'all can see that. But there also is an amenity area that's not planned and programmed yet that will include a lot of parking as well. So we'll meet or exceed the county's requirements for that, which is above and beyond the historical standard that has maybe created some of the concerns of parking in the public right-of-ways. I did want to touch on the concern about the loss of tree canopy. The site has been timbered. The site was timbered well before our client got it. It was timbered before there was even contemplation of development there. It was timber that was there to be harvested in the first place, right? It was going to be harvested at some point. But I do commend the board. I know there's still some revisions happening to it, but there's a tree ordinance that we'll have to follow, and there'll be a plant back plan that we have to follow that will create more diversity of tree species than probably existed on the site to begin with. And then finally, you know, on the buffers, we did really try to take a real effort to buffer all the perimeters and exceeded the county standard, but especially on that timber gate side. As you noticed that, I mean, that is, as John showed, 900 feet. He referenced 3 football fields. I'll reference 3 industrial zoning district buffers, right? It's a massive amount of buffer that's being provided there to that neighborhood. Granted, I do understand their concerns. They're absolute right, but I did want to point out we really have tried to be as sensitive to those neighbors as we possibly can in that.
I have no argument.
Related to that, related to the traffic, what John showed related to the dedicated left turn lanes, that's our best assumption right now. The TIA would further that out. Again, that's related to the direct impacts of the project. There'd be some scoping efforts to identify, you know, if there's other intersections beyond that have to get studied, but obviously the impacts of those would be well beyond this project alone. Yeah. And John, I don't know if you want to add anything on storm drainage or anything, but I want you to touch on those. Thank y'all.
And just real quick, also on the traffic, when we get to actually doing the study, you know, we will take into account the county's transportation master plan. You know, we reference the roundabout. All of that will be accounted for in that traffic study to make sure we see how everything functions. The other thing I want to say regarding that is we're 2 years away from having the first rooftop out there. So the roundabouts that we're talking about, the new elementary school, we're going to see what those cumulative impacts of the traffic are in that section. We'll have to take traffic counts. They have to be taken during school zone. All of that goes into that traffic study when we do the analysis. Like Ryan said, that's our best first guess at what those improvements look like. We wanted to go ahead and examine those, make sure they fit within the right of way, make sure that the turn lanes can be built. But ultimately, when we get to that TIA section, we'll look and see what those recommendations coming out of the report truly are. Regarding the drainage, obviously I said, mentioned the plan is, we're not going to impact the wetlands that follow right along the creek. That coincides with what the flood zone is. Even despite the fact that we're not going to be impacting the flood zone, we're going to elevate the site to make sure that those, even the non-functioning wetland areas, we certainly don't want to build a house below a flood zone adjacent to us. So, we look into all of that when we get into the stormwater design and the grading plan for the community. And again, we did a preliminary stormwater analysis because before we came here, before you and before planning board and before the residents, we wanted to make sure we had a plan that worked and we can meet the county's drainage ordinance. Like I said, that's, exceeds a lot of other communities where we actually have to detain up to the 100-year storm event and meet pre versus post requirements for there. And we've shown that we can. Obviously, as we get, further into that design process, we'll develop a full report that will be submitted to the county's engineer, and that will get reviewed and vetted by the county. But I just wanted to add those few other items. Thank you.
Is your client, I'll ask the question, is your client dead set on R5 zoning?
I think, is he dead set on R5 zoning?
Yes.
I guess I'd have to let Gary answer that, but, we came in, we looked at the various zoning classifications, and that was where we decided it.
Understood.
Gary Wigan again.
Yes, sir.
Property owner. I think with...
I know it's a tough question. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir, it is. I think if you look at what we tried to do here was, and I know we're one of the first projects coming in with the R5 zoning district. What I said was I wanted to come in here and be the poster child. I wanted to exceed all, anything I could, setbacks and open space, and because that was the thought process of how this ordinance was developed. We were going to have higher density, but it was going to be in conjunction with more open space, more active open space. And I said, okay, the county wants 25%, we're going to exceed it. They want 30-foot buffers, we're going to exceed it. And then we only had really one neighbor, it was Timbergate. And I said, I want to stay as far away from them as possible so they can keep their life the way it is. That's what this plan shows. And so, to go back to the drawing board and...
I just wanted to give you the opportunity to answer that question, because I know it's a question people have asked.
Sure, but I think we've gone over and above with this ordinance to show that we're trying to be a good neighbor, that we're trying to provide a good development, that that the county and staff have worked so hard to set up this ordinance, that we're coming in and we're showing that it can work and we can actually exceed the minimum standards. So anyway.
Thanks, sir. All right. Anyone else on the board?
Yeah, I'll say a few things. I agree with a lot of what Commissioner Helmy said, and I do appreciate some of the things that, some of the things that were planned in this development, such as, the amount of open space, the trails within, the amount of buffer in between the next neighborhood. But two things I keep coming back to is, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't see that amount of density in that area. And I know they said, hey, we got to do a traffic study later, but I could pretty much do the eye test because I live in North Effingham and I travel down McCall a good bit, and it's a lot of traffic on there. And I know 2 years, you know, through the permitting process, and if I say this name wrong, I think it was Mr. Nance, but if I said your name wrong, I apologize. But you brought up some good points, and you are correct. I mean, road work, roundabouts, they take time. Y'all can see that, you know, in this area. There's a lot, you know, going on with road construction right now. Y'all see it every day. So just with that being said, that's kind of the two things that I'm most concerned about is that level of density and just, you know, traffic today. I get it. It'll be, first house will be built in 2 years, but if we start planning tomorrow, I don't know, you know, if we would have anything ready in that amount of time. So that's just kind of my concerns there.
Let's see. I want to speak to one. When you just mentioning the density, where I live, and I live on a larger, I think where I live is right on 40 acres. This board at the time, which I couldn't vote, but this board approved a build to rent neighborhood. So about half that distance from my home to the build to rent, it's 450 square feet or feet through a very similar kind of a wet area. Doesn't bother me. I mean, I don't even know they're there in that and that's half the distance. I'm just pointing that out, that's a pretty healthy distance. And so yeah, I'm on a 40-acre tract next to a small build to rent.
That's not the, I mean, that's not the
neighborhood,
point.
and I'm not bothered by it.
Yeah,
I just want to.
I think they've gone overboard with that. I'm not even questioning that.
Yeah, okay.
It's all the other.
Understand, okay,
okay. Yeah, I'm not questioning that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just looking on McCall Road. It doesn't appear we have any R5. The nearest would be, it was like maybe R6 down Blue Jay.
Yeah, R6 is that built-to-rent community on Blue Jay.
Okay.
For me,
and I'm pretty sure Blandford Crossing is R6
I
too.
believe
Yeah.
Blandford Crossing is AR1 front part, and then the rear is
the rear's
R6.
R6.
And you got the two neighborhoods. I believe Alex built one, and the other one is also R6 as well, with that little house that's
Pine Brook,
out
yeah.
in the middle. Yeah.
For me, I don't have a problem with the R5 there. I mean, if being quite honest, if you're looking at this, you're not going to get much better neighborhood next to you than what is presented today. It's you got plenty of room. I've been here 25 years. I was appreciative to have a place to move to when I got here. Everybody wants to move here, have good schools, and everybody deserves that, and I think other people deserve that. However, when people stood up there and spoke, a lot of the things hit me pretty hard, and one is 9th and McCall. It needs some serious updating. Our traffic patterns for the Parkway, we don't have any, got good indications, but not full ideas of what that's going to be like. Somebody mentioned a cumulative traffic study. I think you hit the nail on the head with that. And that's what I'm thinking of, because this bleeds into District 2, which is my responsibility. And it's going to have a big impact. And if anybody knows it takes time to get infrastructure put in, it's me. I mean, we're getting hammered left and right. People are putting up a lot in District 2 right now, and I frankly, I hate it. It's out of my control, and we push it constantly. But one thing I've learned about being on the board for 8 years, you cannot count on infrastructure coming on time. It just does not happen. And it's proven that time and time and time again. And I said this at the last time we had something come up a couple of meetings ago. Smart growth, part of smart growth is timing. And I think it's a good time to pause in these areas that are going to be hitting these high pressure points until we can have at least some wins in some different areas. We need these roundabouts finished in some areas. We need a parkway open. We need a lot of stuff to happen so we can see what's going on and then make better decisions down the road. But that's where I'm at now. You know, that we don't have an end user. We don't know who the builder is. It's really none of my business, but there's facts about some of the builders not being so friendly to us and not building good products, and I don't want to go down that road either. It's our responsibility to make sure we have good products for people. So that's where I'm at today. Thank you.
Well, then I'm not sure. I mean, it doesn't sound like you're very interested. So I guess I can withdraw it and try to go back to the drawing board and come back later, or what?
I think you need to do that. I think it's just, for me, I'm speaking for me, I think it's timing. It's, people are just overwhelmed.
I'll disagree with that, Roger. I believe if he came back with an R1 proposal, it
Well, yeah,
would
I mean,
not
that
be
may
an
change some
issue
things,
at
but-
all, because it would, significantly,
True.
reduce the
But our
count
traffic
there.
problems will still be
And
there.
it would match, sort of match the neighboring properties around it to that area. That's why I asked the question that I asked, because should it be denied, it's going to get kicked down the road for 6 months. And we have no indication of that because nobody's voted yet. So,
Yeah, I wouldn't take that off the table, but again, they are 5. It's not a bad neighborhood if it's done correctly. We maintain 1,800 square feet. That's not a 1,200 square feet starter home, which I've seen. And we need that product, but we don't need any more of it. I like the 1,800 foot idea. There's a lot of good things about it.
and I agree on the engineering part, Roger. Transportation engineering is just that. It's engineering. It's not mechanical engineering. You can build a device that's going to function and work until it actually is online. I don't feel we know how the flow patterns are going to go until they're actually
Exactly.
online.
And we need a little bit of that to come on board before we can even hope to truly judge that.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to
Industry's
take a left
coming.
on 21 right now, coming from the up.
More industries coming in different areas, that could change traffic patterns. It's hard to forecast that as the way we're growing.
I won't tell you, Mr. Wiggins, what you tried to do here, really, I see you taking into account, trying to give that buffer, a nice buffer, put some trails. I'm not arguing with that. I appreciate you doing that, but it's just all that outside stuff that's just impacting right now that we're just not sure about, that has to do with the traffic and has to do with, what's coming and whether we can handle that much given what we already have now. So I appreciate what you're trying to do, but it's just like the guy said, it's just bad. It's just a bad time for this right here, right now.
But I guess, I request to withdraw it.
I'm sorry, sir.
I request to withdraw it.
Okay, very good. Okay, very good. Madam Clerk, the item will be withdrawn from the agenda. Very good. All right. Moving on to item number 5, Planning Board. Consideration to approve an application submitted by Yamira Cristina Nunez for a variance to temporarily occupy a camper RV on a property located at 359 Ohoopee Avenue, map number 330A, parcel number 16E in the 1st District. We'll hold just a minute, let this crowd take off so we can hear properly.
Who's handling this one? Okay. You can get started.
We're trying.
Oh.
A lot of people.
Apologies, Mr. Chairman, we're pulling everything up.
I'm sorry?
Apologies, we're pulling everything up.
Okay, that's fine. I'm waiting for everything to clear out anyway and them to close the door so we can not have the ambient noise. All righty. And whenever you're ready, Akila. your agenda meeting finally came through.
Verbalize it? Do you need the?
I think you can verbalize this, can't you? It's pretty much an
Which one?
RV. Can't we just go ahead? It's an RV. Yeah, I guess so.
All right. I just have to do the staff report. There's no presentation. All right. Apologies for the delay, Mr. Chairman. So good evening, Akila Wright, Development Services. The existing parcel is located at 359 Ohapi Avenue, is developed with an existing residential structure. The applicant proposes to temporarily occupy an RV or camper on the property while the primary dwelling is being constructed. Access to the property is provided via Ohapi Avenue, with the site also fronting on 8th Street. The property is served by an existing private well and septic system and drain field. The parcel is zoned AR1, which is agricultural residential, which requires a minimum lot size of 5 acres. The subject parcel is approximately 0.178 acres. It is a legal non-conforming lot of record platted as part of the historic town of Meldrum subdivision prior to the adoption of the current AR1 minimum lot size. The proposed request is for this variance. They seek to approval for the temporary residential occupancy of the camper RV while a new primary dwelling is being constructed. Site characteristics: the subject parcel consists of approximately 0.178 acres. According to County GIS mapping, a freshwater forested / shrub wetland area is identified in the vicinity of the property located on adjoining land of the south, but there are no wetlands on the subject property. Surrounding development: the area surrounding the parcel reflects the older platted residential core of Meldrum with a mix of legacy small lot residential parcels, larger AR1 tracts, and institutional. There is a church property in the area. Development intensity and lot sizes vary more than is typical elsewhere in the AR1 district. So to the north of the property, it is AR1, south is AR1, east and west are all AR1 zoning districts. The hardship lies in allowing a temporary on-site use of a camper while the primary home is being constructed. Based on the findings contained in this report, staff finds that the request satisfies the variance criteria of Article 9, Section 9.1, the Effingham County zoning ordinance. The requested relief is temporary in nature, represents the minimum necessary variance, and is not expected to adversely affect surrounding properties or the public health, safety, and welfare. Staff therefore recommends that the board approves this application with the following stipulations: that the RV camper may not be occupied for more than 12 months during the home construction. Should an extension be needed, the applicant shall come before the Board of Commissioners for approval if they need to reside there longer than the 12 months. And upon completion of construction of the home, the camper shall be vacated and disconnected from well and septic systems and temporary electrical services. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, ma'am. Is Ms. Nunez here? If so, please come forward. She's in the other room. Oh, they left? Okay. All right.
Well, is I don't have a problem with this typical, somebody living in an RV while they're building their home. I mean,
We've always been,
pretty straightforward.
yeah.
Well,
been
there's
willing
no
to
problem
come
with
and
the
work
board.
with
I make a motion, we approve and
Let's
allow
say,
it.
this place is
Second.
pretty
Well,
real.
it's a public hearing, so.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
sorry.
I didn't know it was public. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Okay,
It's important.
okay, very good. Anyone else here for, please come forward. Anyone here opposed, please come forward. Being I see none, I'll close the public hearing. Open up for discussion or a motion.
If there's no discussion, I'll make a motion.
We've always worked with people while they're building a home.
Yeah. With that, I'll make a motion that we approve the staff recommendations.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Item 6, second reading, consideration to approve the second reading of an application submitted by Yamira Cristina Nunez for a variance to temporarily occupy a camper RV on a property located at 359 Ohoopee Avenue, map number 330A, parcel number 16E in the 1st District. I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve the second reading.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. I understand there's no need for executive session tonight, correct?
Correct.
Very good. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Do we have executive session minutes
Session
from
minutes we need
previous?
to approve first.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Make a motion. I'll make a motion to approve the executive session minutes as presented.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Madam Clerk, before we adjourn, I don't know if you were in here or not. We were talking about setting up a day. And I was looking at the calendar. We'd originally, since we're canceling our retreat, looking at setting up a day and a time and a place to just have a day dedicated to data center discussion for the public. And I was looking at dates of, August 22nd and 29th. I understand the 14th is off the table. So if we could look at those 2 days, get a consensus from the commissioners, and also look at maybe a possible change of venue to accommodate the size that we anticipate coming. And then if we could reach out to our AV, maybe Jake and our AV staff, because I would like to try to record if possible.
Yeah.
Or I would like to record, period. So let's just make that happen.
Was there a discussion on the time?
It was just the dates were Saturday. I mean, to make it accommodating for people, we can leave that up for discussion as you reach each commissioner. And then we'll publish it as soon as we can. So
Should we consider having a 2-day or a day and a half?
I think a day is going to be enough because
Not just the data center, but we've got a lot of other business going on
Right.
besides data center that I don't
well,
want to lose
that was
sight of.
the thought process behind that, Roger, in discussions, and I know I haven't talked with you yet, was to set this aside so we aren't, convoluting the two. Just giving the public a day and a time and to talk about a little of this, and then the business that we need to talk about, I will leave that to Tim on how much time we need to address other issues.
Yeah, so I would still imagine that would be at least 2 days.
Okay, so maybe we do a Friday for that, if that works for the commissioners, and a Saturday for the data center discussion.
That would be
I don't
fine
think
for
it's
me.
enough. So I don't like pushing this off, but I would think just for preparation purposes,
Mm-hmm.
I would probably do just a simple separate day on the data center issue.
Okay.
And then we could
We
plan
can reconvene.
2 days, maybe in September or something to that effect.
Okay, very good.
Where we can kind of go through everything that we had originally planned.
Tossing it out there. Yeah, I haven't seen a list of items that we're covering on potential for, so great. All right, just make a note of that. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Chairman?
Yes, sir.
If I could, for those of us that may not be able to be there in person for whatever date you guys.
Would you like to submit questions or anything that you want answered to? Okay.
Sure.
We will see about getting a portal set up for that. We have that already? Okay. Well, we need to make it exclusive to this. So we'll find a way to identify those questions so that it'll also be live streamed as well. We won't have the ability to do like a Teams meeting type setup to answer, but all your questions. I believe, the day is going to be enough because there's going to be a lot of redundancy, I'd imagine, on the questions that are coming in. So yeah, we'll have that open. Yes, ma'am.
I have a document that I was hoping to get a chance to during the time.
You can present it to our clerk. if you would, and she'll receive it if you'd like to put it into the record. Or you can save it for that venue that we're going to open for that. No, ma'am, we're done with that portion of it. But you can send it to her or give it to her if you like for receipt. Or if you'd like to save that time for that date, that'd be great.
There's no way that I can read this out loud in this meeting today.
No, ma'am, you're not on the agenda today.
It is in regard to items which are on the agenda, though they are not.
Those have since passed. We've made motions and passed those. That opportunity, if it was on the agenda, was during that time to do those. So again, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries.